Alright, so masking off this piece here. The only reason why I wanted to show this separate from the other ones is because of this extra stripe here. Now let's start over here at this end. And let's move the light around. It's critically important to get this tape down as tight into those corners as possible right now, because once I run the razor blade over that, that's going to determine how good this mask is or not. And I don't want to paint this piece again. And here's where this little odd detail relief is going on. Alright, so now, I've had number 11 blade hanging out here for days, and now that I need it, naturally disappeared. So I think probably the most important thing I'm doing here is keeping this blade at a 45-degree angle to that inner edge. But in this case, I'm going to cut straight down, perpendicular. So far so good. If I had made a bad cut here, the only real solution I can think of would be to recut the entire thing. So far fate is standing with me. Little raggedness is okay, that can be worked back into the shape. That's something you'll have to judge yourself when you're actually doing it. Alright, so we'll get the old thumbnail again, and voila. One last reminder is that there are painting masks for this. Aztec Dummy through PGMS sells them. Vinyl masks, just peel them up, stick them down, and you are good to go. I don't know if those wrap around the edges here or if it's just the surface, so that could be an important consideration for you. And with that, we are ready for some 1706. Probably going to need more than that. I don't know if this has been thinned or not. Oh, wait a minute. Here's another jar of thin 1706. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes. Well, it's been a little while since I painted this piece. It looks pretty dry. I'm satisfied with the coverage overall. So it is time to peel up this mask. Make sure I don't have any paint on my fingers here before I touch the piece. There's a little bit of pull up right there at this end, and I can touch that up. Let's get some B. One of the things I've noticed is that over time my B mixture has changed. I've been eyeballing it all along. That's a pretty good mix. If it didn't quite match as good as this, what I was going to do is pull out some probably 1704, because yeah, I'm going to have to anyway. So I'll pull out a little 1704, and I'm going to mix this right in place. No worries. Done. Nice. I really like the way that looks. By tomorrow the floor should be cured enough that I can start handling it and putting some pieces on. Right now it's just about 24 hours since I last spray coated it with the gloss clear. May as well take a look at that right now real quick. Oh, shiny. So yeah, you can definitely see how this area right in there is kind of sparkly to some degree. It's not raised or bubbled or anything. It must have been something about the gloss itself. I can only guess that it was too old. I'm going to chop a lot of this floor off because looking at the show and studying it, I mean, technically the back of this room should curve in, matching the outer hull. What they did on the set though is to cheat it, and they just have a straight wall coming down right about here. So all this excess floor I did wasn't really needed to get it show accurate, but to get it realistic accurate, then yes, it would have curved all the way down there. There's a porthole back here, probably right about here, going straight out. Matching that up with an interior wall would have been really difficult. So what I'm going to do for that is head over to Photoshop and create a backdrop for it. I do have to paint in here with 1706, the wall color. I had thought that I was going to have to match where the wall matches. Well, I may still have to do some work there, I guess. But hopefully I'll be able to mask it off properly and all will go well. Now there is some slight dust on here. Once it dries a little better, I'm definitely going to wash this off. I don't know where all this dust is coming from, but that is not the explanation for all the coloring that happened. Yeah, there it's really obvious. Try and get it in the light here. So yeah, I'm really glad I don't need this area. I could go and buy another bottle of this color, I guess. These few wall pieces that I have in here, like I think this one was just a couple minor touch-ups. I should do some 1706 on this really quick. That was another touch-up. That's not too bad. This side I have to paint completely with 1706, so I'm going to have to wait for my touch-ups to dry before I do that. This piece here got 1706 on one side, it's got B on the other, so once this is cured in another 24 hours tomorrow, I'll mask this off, seal it off first. I'll do that later tonight, then mask it off tomorrow, paint the 1706, and that piece will be good, as well as this piece here. On these guys I went a little too watery in my mix. You can definitely see it on these pieces here, so this needs another coat of anthracite gray. And the original instructions said these panels are 1706. It turns out they're 1735, which is wood, which is one of the choices for the central circle. Since I'm out of that color, I went with the alternate color for the central circle, which is this one here, 1742. And what has to be done now is once this cures, I'd hate to hand brush black on this because it's such a thin piece and we'll lose all those details. So what I'll do is wait till later, seal this with clear, and then mask it off for black. Same with the other piece as well. So until then, those are going to sit there. I'm going to double check all the other pieces to make sure everything's going good, and I'll be able to get back to this hopefully soon. Well, tomorrow, because I got to wait for this anthracite gray to go. So that is it for now. I'll catch up with you in the next segment of the video.